Hello everyone, it is the build-up show, Liverpool, Chelsea. Whew, big game so early on in the season and lives. I'm Paul Machin, Chris Pajak and Sam Walker join me in the studio for this one. For Chris Pajak, the biggest game of the season so far.
Yes.
Definitely. Possibly actually also in general.
Yes, probably right now. Champions-elect Liverpool versus the European champions Chelsea. But no, Anfield, mate, I'm buzzing for it. It's the first huge game. Last week was significant, and it was the first game back properly, full stadium. This is the first really big game back, and it's not a 12:30 kickoff. That was probably one of the best 12:30 atmospheres I've heard at Anfield, but 5:30s is something different, aren't they? You know what I mean? So going in against Chelsea side that already is playing well already and putting a marker down for the rest of the league and stuff with West Ham, by the way, randomly. Yeah. Can we just stop talking about West Ham United, please?
Well, if they could stop being top of the league, that might help that conversation.
Do me head in, you know what I mean? But this is massive. I mean, it's the story of the Lukaku Van Dijk thing, isn't it? And the fact that it's Chelsea, the fact that they've spent so much money, the fact that Liverpool haven't and want to get back to winning the league, it's just a really exciting game to talk about.
Yeah, before we dive into it, actually, I just want to apologise to people who've had so many complaints about how much of a bellend Louis was on the Oppo preview show on YouTube. I love Louis. He is a bellend, but I love him. But apparently he went extra bellend on that show, so it is what it is.
Do you know what it is though? I was saying this afterwards. I've not caught the show just yet. Like, I know you have, haven't you?
Yeah, Mendy.
But the thing for me is, like, do you remember? You'll remember this, Paul. When we won, how fan channels used to speak about Liverpool and to us before we won anything, and then, like, the reverence that they showed us when we were European champions and league titles. Now, I don't think we changed, but we probably did. We probably became very cocky with it. He's just a young lad who's become very, very cocky because he's seen his side once again win a European title. Yeah. He is a nice lad. He's got some horrendous football shouts, and I'll tell him that to his face, and do all of the time, by the way. But he is a nice lad. There's no need to be mean to him just because he's an idiot.
Yeah. We love you, Lou.
Sorry, not sorry.
We love you, Lou. The one thing I've just seen is, because I want to dive into the game, but there seems to be, and it comes off the back of this weird, like, rearing of its head on social media this last week of this idea that Liverpool don't have a good atmosphere, and I don't know where it's come from. Like, Natalie Pike, who is another lovely person who had come across like a total bellend on a video that was doing the rounds this week, talking about, like,
is that the City fan?
Yeah.
I've done the radio with her, and she came across a bit like the same as she did on that video. I know the problem with it, but she comes across like a bellend on that, like, and then the other guy I think is on there as well. But the point is, I've seen this in comments a bit recently. It's like people going, it's dead quiet and blah blah blah. It's like, to Chris's point, we just had a 12:30 kickoff, and they're normally the problems. It's the 3 o'clocks and 12:30s when you're playing a team that aren't a rival are often the one where there's little stakes, often the problem. But, like, I can honestly say, like, I used to think there was a big problem with the atmosphere at Anfield. I do not have that. I don't have those concerns at all. Even the worst atmospheres at Anfield are better than most of the pretty good ones from 5 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like over the last 2 or 3 years, because of the journey we've been on, that it's just got better.
Maybe they were in the press box last year.
Yeah. But do you know what else?
Silence in here. This Anfield atmosphere is a myth.
The only explanation. The truth is, though, I remember going to a United game years ago. It might have even been the Europa League one, and it was buzzing the whole game. But I got home, and one of my unfortunate friends who support Man United, who live in Manchester, said to me, "Your atmosphere sounded dead." No, mate, it was booming. But what they do is they stick the sound,
the
microphone on the United fans to give them But it was the same on Saturday. Like, it was a great atmosphere. Yeah, it dips. But it's also proven that atmospheres that go up and down are more effective than, like, Besiktas. That's just one level for the whole way. So that's what works for us as well. It's the fact that we have a ruckus beginning in the game, really cheered them on. Then the game settles down. We get chances. It goes up again and down, and that's what carries them through momentum-wise.
Yeah. Well, you've actually, because you've worked in and around schools. We've all got kids. That the level of noise going up doesn't really change. You just adapt to it. And you don't realise it until it goes away, and that's when that's what you need the rise and fall, because have you ever walked out of like a play centre and you go, and you don't realise you've been assaulted in your senses for that time, but then you then walk into somewhere loud and you notice it being loud again. But again, I just thought it was an interesting point.
It's always amazing to me that like it's never the clubs that I consider to have a good atmosphere that have a pop at us. It's always the fans of Manchester City, really? Okay, sounds.
We've got issues, that's why.
You know what I mean? And they come out and say this type of stuff. It's like, mate, you had like a league title parade with about 6 people there, bud. Yeah. You know
Jack
what I mean?
Grealish doing kick-ups to 5 lads.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Your cameramen are literally hiding close to the fans to make it look crowded.
Yeah.
Like, we don't do that.
Yeah, the cameraman's putting the camera on sticks and standing in front of the camera to make the numbers up at this point. Like, you know what I mean?
It's like a birthday party. Come on, everyone, get in for the picture.
Yeah, no.
It was a myth that those coach greetings.
Yeah, no, but that's the point. That's the point again, and I've enjoyed the responses to it. Of like, it's. I know there's some things. In fact, I was talking to, I think it was the fella sitting next to it at the match and saying how like we have so many mad moments that I know it comes across as arrogance sometimes. We go, oh, Liverpool are a bit special or whatever, but it happens too many times for it to be something that you're just making up. You know, like too many magical comebacks and too many amazing atmospheres in the European nights and all that kind of stuff for it to be a nothing.
But the mad thing is, fans of all these clubs hang on their manager's words, and yet when their manager talks about Anfield, they ignore it completely.
And they always get...
And every manager talks about it, and their players talk about the Anfield atmosphere, and the lad who are watching it on the telly know better. Mad.
And the ones that actually go, oh yeah, it's not going to make a difference, get beat. Barcelona, it's happened to Pep about 6 times. It's just like, stop talking about it, mate, because in the end, you're going to have to learn one way or another.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, the idea that it's a myth is a myth. I think we're clear on that, because yeah, I mean, like, because you were just the last thing on that. Think about the coach greetings. And maybe the Robo one is the outstanding one, because obviously you didn't have the unsavoury bits with the coach involved in that. But like the pictures on telly of that, and how many like Arsenal fans who would normally be the first to give us like loads of stick and banter and all that awfulness, were like, wow, look at that. We can't do that. Why can't we? Why is it not respect? When Atletico did it to Liverpool and they were showing the pictures, I was like, that's boss. I love that. When I went to Barcelona and they had all their fans in the streets and they had them all bouncing up and down ready to go, I just went and had a look at it. It was just brilliant. If it's there, recognise it and respect it. It's part of football culture. It's better that. I actually want it. The idea of going, it doesn't exist. Well, for a start, that's just going to actually fire us up a little bit more. I would rather be better to go, no, it's amazing, and then go and win in there, and then go, we won in your amazing atmosphere, rather than to deny it happens and then put your fingers in your ears and go la 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 while our atmosphere is beating your team. You know, that's anyway to think. Right, we're going to take a brief break. Easy for me to say. We're going to be talking about the last time we played Chelsea, a little bit on them and what we think the threats are. Thiago and Naby, Costas or Robbo, Hendo or Harvey, Bobby or Jota, and anything you guys want to discuss in the comments as well after a short break. As a trivia question first, Fabio Borini famously played for both. But how many games did he play for Liverpool and how many goals did he score? Answer after the break. Hey, brand new season means brand new sponsor. From the people that brought you Redmen picks comes Ultimate Fan. Sign up for a completely free account. Get a starting pack of 10 players. Build your squad and earn weekly fantasy points for them towards your total and fantastic weekly prizes. It's incredibly simple. It's incredibly fun. And you can download the app by clicking the link in the description underneath. Okie dokie then, let's dive into this week, or moreover, last week. So in week 1 in the 15k pot, I got 50 points, which was fine. Last week, yeah, not so good. Just the 13 from me. This time around, it didn't go well at all. I'll show you what it looked like. Patrick Bamford picked up 4 points. Cesar Azpilicueta, 4 points, 3 for Stuart Dallas. Everton got 2 because they got a draw. Kevin De Bruyne, my star man, didn't play. Picked up a minor injury, didn't play. Jamie Vardy, nothing. Leicester got absolutely annihilated. And Matt Target got none as well. So work to be done this week, but it is our base pack. So let's swipe away. Who have we got? Kraft. Troost. Ekong? Never heard of him. Emile Smith-Rowe. Good. Okay, well, he's good. We know he's a decent player. He's probably Arsenal's best player, right? Right, let's do our goal pack then and let's see what we've got. So we guarantee the silver and 2 golds in this. We've got Dunk, solid. Fernandinho, okay, gold. obviously well past his best. And then Declan Rice, okay, good, not great. I'll take Dallas out and I'll put Fernandinho. Is that a good move? Is he even going to play? I'm going to just back City as much as it makes me skin crawl, because if they win, then fine, points. And if they don't, then I'm happy because they haven't. That makes sense, right? In terms of my team, right, I've been backing Everton. I don't want to back Everton anymore. I want to back West Ham. So I'm going to put West Ham as my team. I'm going to put Duncan instead of Target. Yeah. Okay, simple as that, right? Yes, listen, I'll screenshot this, I'll stick it out on our Instagram and Twitter, etc., etc. You screenshot yours, send them in to us, and we'll see how we get on. And don't forget to send me abuse if you get loads more points than me this week. But yes, if you want to download the Ultimate Fan app, you can do. The link is in the description underneath. All the terms and conditions are there as well. And yeah, if you want to get involved with the gold or the silver packs, then join Ultimate Fan Plus, and you get those extra chances to get better players each and every week when you open your packs. Yeah, hopefully it's a better week for me this week. Hopefully it's a good week for you, but not as good as me. And we're back with more Ultimate Fan next week. There you go. Yes, Ultimate Fan app is available right now. I want to stress this as well. Obviously, you've got the gold packs, and they're important if you want to quickly build your team or you really, really get into it. But it is completely free to play, and I know a lot of people played Redmen Picks with us last year. If you've already got an account from Redmen Picks, then just download the app and you can use those logins to get involved. Totally free to play. As I say, use the link in the description to download it. It's good fun. I'm not very good at it. It seems that my week 1 success was a little bit of an outlier because I went from 50 points to 30. I think in week 2, so
yeah, that's still higher than I've ever got.
Yeah. Right, last time out, we lost against these. We lost 1-0. Mason Mount scored. Can you remember who played centre back for us that day?
Fabinho did.
Fabinho and Kabak,
correct. Because there was that very brief moment we were like, he's dead slow, and then he kept pace with Timo Werner and didn't stop it going in, but he was offside, so we got away with it. Yeah, I mean, look, Chelsea looking so far so good. You know, they are joint second with us in the league at the moment. Not that it matters because it's 2 games played, but I actually also think, we have this every year. I'm not asked about the league table for 10 games, but actually I nearly did that, and then I went, well, but these are our rivals, so to do it is important at the moment. We've got exactly the same goals scored, exactly the same goals against, same points, so it is significant.
It's two sides that are playing well right now. I think Liverpool have had the most shots the most shots out of any side in the Premier League. We've had 46 shots so far, but Chelsea have had the fewest shots against, so they've only actually had 10 shots against them in those first 2 games. They've actually had the lowest XG against and stuff as well, so the focus right now is obviously on Lukaku and stuff like that, but what their side is built on is it's a very strong defensive unit at the moment. Yeah. You know, they all pull in the right direction for each other and make it difficult to even get a shot off, so it's important as well that like we talk about after week 1 in the Premier League, of being 3 points above Manchester City at an early stage in the season. Like it used to be when Ferguson and Wenger were in the league, and we've spoken about this loads, it used to be how you finish the league, but Antonio Conte for Chelsea said sometimes it's about how you start the league. And Liverpool did that when we won the league. If you get to a position where nobody's got a chance and you don't look like ever slipping up, then you can beat them before they even realise that they could have potentially been in a title fight. So right now it's about just making sure that you get as many points as you can. And if you can take points off your rivals while you're doing it, brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited for this. I think we've been building up towards this, and Chelsea obviously had that good result against Arsenal last time out. Where, I mean, look, Arsenal were heavily weakened in that team, but they're also in a bit of a mess anyway. So they've had, I guess you could say they've had a harder start to the season, and they've had the Super Cup to contend with as well, sort of thrown into that. But I think we've been building. I think the games, in terms of getting Virgil van Dijk up to speed, in terms of getting Henderson ready, Thiago ready, my belief, Sam, is that this has been the one that's been circled in the calendar almost, and everything's been gearing us up towards this.
Yeah, and if you look at the sort of progress we made, so Norwich away, brand new team from the Championship, yo-yo club. Then we moved to Burnley, who are a bit of a stalwart in the Premier League. It's almost like we've been stepping up towards Chelsea. Maybe one more in between would have done.
Yeah.
I think it's very difficult. I agree with what you and Chris both say to judge both teams' results, because we've both kind of weathered storms at times. Like I know Chelsea did against Arsenal, defended well, kept the clean sheet 2 games running. Both had easy games. Palace is basically a new team in it. They battered them, we battered Norwich, and then Arsenal probably are in the same bucket as Burnley now, to be honest, especially with the weakened side. So we've both kind of made the same steps. The fact that it's at Anfield for me, it's huge. It's a big factor. You know, we were talking about the atmosphere early on. R5 is going to be massive, big leg up for us. Lukaku, it's only his second game, so we don't really know yet what he's going to bring to the big games. Does he understand all the movement from all the players?
Well, everyone
around
talks
him?
about it. We know he's a flat track bully in the Premier League.
That's what he is, yeah.
But can he do it in the big? Can he do it in the big games? And the answer is probably. But to your point, we'll find.
Yeah, and he hasn't proved that yet. You know, I don't think he scored loads of goals against the big teams in Italy. It's the same thing. But there's this idea he's gone to Italy and come back this superstar. But that's just what we do in football, isn't it? Especially over here, we put these foreign players in another league in a higher echelon than this league. You know, is he better than Harry Kane? No, not in my opinion. But you know, we know what he's going to bring. They're going to win a lot of football matches with him this year. I'm not worried about him, to be honest. It's and what I'm worried about for Saturday is the fact that Chelsea play 3 at the back, and that's very difficult to break.
The one that's interesting for me is Timo Werner. They seem to hate him, and it's because I think, and this is the problem with the way Chelsea's been for 20 odd years, Chris, is I think they've been trained to think if someone's not good in one season, they're gone. And that's from managers down to youth players. You know, it's insane. But it's worked for them, and that's been their process, I guess. But I got Timo Werner, and the defence for me, and this falls on deaf ears, this is where you start to sound like an arrogant gobshite, is there's a reason Liverpool wanted to sign him, and if he'd been like that for us last year, I'd be confident that he'd be better this year, because there's clearly something to him.
Yeah, and I probably would as well, but you know, we're optimists at the end of the day, and Abramovich is not an optimist, and you know, Chelsea aren't built that way. I think for me, I look at Timo Werner and actually go a flip side of that. Well, why didn't Liverpool take a punt? Maybe that's why. But I think that when you and answer the question of why they hate him, imagine Mo Salah taking all the shots but not scoring any goals.
Yeah,
right. People would fucking hate him, and that's what they've got in Timo Werner. But he gets into these incredibly dangerous positions with his pace and his movement, and it's still really good. He just doesn't seem to have that confidence, and I actually don't think that last season playing without fans has done him any favours whatsoever, because he is more of a threat than he showed last season, and whether he gets that opportunity under Tuchel or he's just had enough, I don't know. But on the Lukaku front,
but on the Timo Werner stuff, he got fans inside the ground for a training session, and they had one of them shouting out to get off.
Out to the club.
I mean, on the Lukaku stuff though, he started like a house on fire when he broke into the Premier League against us. He scored 4 in 4. And then since then he's only scored 1 in 11 against us, which sort of backs up your flat track bully type of thing. But he's grown. He's grown, and he's a better sort of player nowadays. So it'll be interesting for me this season to see whether he does get the goals in the big games, because that's what separates a brilliant striker from a world like top draw striker.
100%. The Timo Werner stuff for me, flipping it back again, is like, I know they've got an issue, but him and Lukaku are almost, I know it's a bit old school Premier League and they're not going to play them necessarily in a 2 up top, but they were putting Kai Havertz very close to Lukaku against Arsenal. If you do that with Timo Werner, and we've discussed about the weakness at the moment of Liverpool just flicking the ball over Van Dijk's head, that's Timo Werner all day. I wouldn't fancy Joel Matip in a foot race against Timo Werner if he's got a bit of space to run into. Now, obviously, you've then got the goalkeeper who's in amazing form behind all that, which should help, but that's a potential exploit for us.
I think the other thing on that for us is, like, we've got one of the best offside lines I've ever seen, to be honest with you. Like, you know, Arsenal in the 90s used to always be sort of spoken about for this. For us, nowadays, with the way that the rules are and the way that linesmen don't put the flags up until late, and the shot's probably taken most of the time, you don't actually talk about us as a team that has a great offside, because as a fan in the stadium, the shot's been taken and you can't forget that. But whereas back in the day, they'd go, boom,
Straight away. Don't even get through,
and you'd notice about 10 times a game where Liverpool would have just had that. Yeah. So that's one of those things that, like, it puts you down as a fan when really we're one of the best in the world. And Timo Werner, like, look, I really do like Timo Werner still. I think there's something there. There's a player there. But I've seen him get caught offside a lot.
And so does Lukaku as well.
Yeah.
I know, just finishing on the Werner point, this is just typical Chelsea, this. I think we would have looked at Werner last year and given him the opportunity to prove it again this year. That's just the type of club we are and manager we've got. Chelsea have just replaced him as the number 9 anyway, as the forward. They've just gone, we're going to spend 97.5 million on someone better than you. You're now waiting in the wings.
Chelsea are a bit like with the squad they've got and the attacking talent they've got more over. They remind me a bit like where if back in the day when you had computer games and you'd spend 50 quid on one and you played it to death because it was your only game, and then as you get older or a console gets older, games become cheaper and all of a sudden
unless you're a Nintendo fan.
But you can buy a ton for a few quid, but you never actually play any of them like to the depth, because if you get bored you just put a different one on for emulators, and that's what Chelsea have got with this, is they might never get the best out of Werner because it might just be easy to throw Ziyech in, or they'll throw Pulisic back in, or they'll move Mason Mount over to the left hand side. You know what I mean? And then,
how good was it when Blockbuster started selling computer games though for rental?
Yeah, amazing.
Brilliant, wasn't it? It was a game changer.
No, NHLPA hockey or whatever it was, and player manager and pit fighter all over Christmas for like £5. It was amazing. It's best like 2 week school all day ever had.
When went into liquidation.
Right, we're going to talk about some Liverpool options in a moment, but I just want to say welcome aboard to EA, who's joined as a member and then upgraded to Wonderkid as well. You get a bonus show at Wonderkid.
Nice segue from NHL to EA there. I like that.
Absolutely, it's in the game. You get a bonus show at Tier 2 and Tier 3 memberships on YouTube every week. It is the Monday Final Word show, so it'll be the Final Word show for this game, streaming live to members on the YouTube channel. So yeah, get involved with that. We had some super chats. James Gunn, congratulations on making a Suicide Squad film that wasn't terrible. If West Ham win the league, Chris will ... give it up.
Go into hiding.
Yeah, I'll have a congratulatory pint with West Ham Fan TV and then go into hiding shortly afterwards. Ashley Frith with the £5 super chat says, so excited for the game at the weekend. I hope we put a marker down to remind everyone how good we were before last year's injury crisis. And that's the important thing for me in this game. And Thiago's father, the Red Sea podcast, has nailed this, calling it the revenge tour. See, and this is, we've had this already. We said Norwich are effectively, maybe you swap Norwich for Fulham, so we've gained points there. We lost to Burnley, we've gained points there, but we lost to Chelsea at Anfield as well. There's another chance to put more points on the board, which puts you at between 6 and 8 points or whatever better off already after the first 3 games. That's how this season needs to be constructed. And I agree. I'm not keen for the world to turn all their eyes on Liverpool's title challenge just yet, because it might not exist. All these people who are ignoring us or maligning us might be right. Because there's lots of experts and there's lots of people who played the game who seem quite convinced that Liverpool aren't going to do it this season. I remain staunchly the opposite way, Chris. But of course I should be, because I'm a Liverpool fan. But I don't know. There's a feeling in my core that we're all right, but we could do with winning this game to kind of put
yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, look, if Liverpool beat Chelsea in the way that the pundits and everyone have been speaking about Chelsea, we will be in everyone's consciousness. It's just the way that it is. But look, there's 2 ways of looking at it. You can look at it last season where Liverpool were in everyone's consciousness because they'd gone top of the table at Christmas, or you can look at it the year before where everyone was going, there's no way we can win it when we're 12 points clear. Nah, we're not. It's not done yet. Like. You have to get through this stage to get to the 12 points clear.
Yeah.
It's just part and parcel. I'd much rather win this game, be in everyone's consciousness, and be 10 points clear at Christmas, and having that conversation again where you're actually 20 points clear in February and stuff. That's just what we've got to do.
I'm feeling quite chill about the whole thing, and again, the result will be dependent upon this, because it's Liverpool being boss, and my bubble of Liverpool bossness in my head is helping me, protecting me against a lot of the shit that kind of goes around footy at these days. But it's that thing of, we've won the title now, and I know I've had to experience the let off in the way that we would have done if we'd done it in a full stadium. But I feel like I know how to conduct myself a bit better this time around, so I'm not getting carried away. For me, it's 3 points. There's no point in getting lost, because I now know how to.
You've been talking to Jürgen? You sound like Jordan there, just the next 3 points, the next game's the big one.
The next game.
It's not that I'm not. yeah, absolutely. And it's not like I'm not excited for each individual game, but this is the thing.
we don't earn the right to have a conversation about anything more than having 9 points on the board, unless you go and put 9 points on the board.
Yeah, and let's be honest, we could still win the league if we lose this game or draw this game, and we could still finish fifth if we win this game. But I have been feeling the disrespect, to be honest. I'm one of them. I'm like you, Paul. I love the fact that we're underdogs, but I also love being wax lyrical about and all these pundits. But literally, no one apart from Darren Lewis has said, I think he's a Liverpool fan anyway, isn't he? Am I right in saying that?
He might be.
I think he is, yeah. It has said that he thinks Liverpool are going to win the league. He just sees like what we see, previous team and the additions coming in, everyone's sort of gelling together. Now Simicast coming from nowhere and being brilliant. So it's like, no one's seeing that apart from us. Everyone just goes, Lukaku, Chelsea, they won the Champions League, that's it, they're going to win the league.
New shiny toy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, Harry Kane's definitely going to sign for City and they're going to win the league. Well, unlucky, mate. You've all called that and that's not right. So maybe you should take stock and think about it. It's the same as I heard the conversation you had the other day about the pundits, about the fact that most of them are quite lazy, and it's spot on. I watch matches today, like, what are you watching? You know, I didn't have the benefit of replays of the match. It was disgusting what was going on. So it's all the same for me. It's laziness, and they've all got to take a stance. And for me, this is our opportunity to, even if we don't win the game, play brilliantly, show our qualities, and just sort of, you know, prove to ourselves and our fans, if anything, that we are good enough to go on a title run again.
I want to lead on because I thought it was a really interesting point about the Kostas Tsimikas stuff. And Ashley Fritz sent a super chat in the podcast, and we promised we'd do it on this show because it was more fitting. And he said, "What are your thoughts on Tsimikas versus Robbo to start for Chelsea?" Tsimikas has been great, and I think that's the point about Tsimikas is Robbo will know a lot about how Klopp's motivated his squad or set his squad up for the season. Maybe not, you know, completely, but it'll give us a good indication if Robbo comes back in. But to Sam's point, you know, all this idea of where Liverpool's squad's at, you know, it's not just the squad from 2 years ago. Because I know we had Tsimikas for a whole year.
Jota.
Exactly. And Jota and Thiago as well. Kanate. And obviously we've not even seen Kanate come in yet. But this is the point. They are additions to the squad that won everything. So and I think Tsimikas is almost he's been a free hit. Because no one had any expectation. We expected Thiago to be good. And we spent £36 million on Kanate, so we expect him to be to be quite good. And Jota, less expectations, but he's now scored goals, so we know he's good. But Kostas Tsimikas is a great example of someone who we might just actually have two brilliant left-backs.
Yeah, and that's a brilliant position to be in. And if we haven't got one of those little men in black things going out wiping everybody's memories from last season, and if we have, because we spend a lot of money and we've got a lot of rocket scientists at our football club, maybe we've just gone round and wiped the memory of last season, and they think they're the league champions still. Yeah. So we can go out there with the addition of someone like a Kostas Tsimikas and stuff. He's playing well. And right now, that's what you can hope for at this early stage of the season. Someone who's playing well, who looks like he's full of confidence, who's got a delivery on him, who's got himself a little assist, who's played in front of Anfield with a full crowd for the first time. These are all new things for him, but he's got to strive for more because that's the thing, isn't it? You know, we've had squad players who've had absolutely no chance of getting into the first team. Now, I don't think Kostas believes he has no chance of getting into the first team because I think the way that he's performing says to me he's putting a marker down for Andy Robbo there, and I think Robbo's the best left back in the world, and I think Robbo's better than Kostas Tsimikas, but it doesn't look like Kostas thinks that right now.
Yeah, and good, and this is the interesting thing about this, because look at the free reign Reece James has last week against Arsenal, and that's a major concern. And look, I hate getting drawn into this. Well, the Trent versus Reece James thing. Can we not just can we just all be happy that they're both really good footballers, and we own one of them, and we own, let's be honest, the best of the two of them.
Yeah. I'm just going to say that, Paul. Trent's better.
but like I can't. I dislike somehow trying to make Reece James look like he's worse than he is. He's brilliant. He's brilliant. He's dead good on the ball. He's good defensively. He's fast. He's good. He's got a good cross on him. He fills their system really well. For me, the difference is that Trent is a generational. You don't talk about Trent Alexander-Arnold moving into midfield. No one goes, maybe we should move Kovacic or Jorginho or Kante out of midfield and put Reece James in there. Whereas there's people who would move Thiago or Fabinho or Jordan Henderson out of Liverpool's midfield to put Trent Alexander-Arnold in there. But the left back thing, Sam's massive for that, because that was so glaring how bad that was for Arsenal. I wouldn't expect it to be, but we don't know how good Kostas Tsimikas is defensively yet, because we've played Burnley and Norwich so far.
And it's also a system thing now. So to criticise Chelsea, I'd say their defensive centre-halves as centre-halves individually or in a two are not good enough. They can't. That's why teams play with 3 at the back, because they can't expand as much. So for us, that's great. Sort of going forward, which I'm sure we'll come to. But then now they have got a 3 at the back and they play wing backs. That's a problem for when teams who play 4 at the back, because when they are on the attack, you have the wing back arriving late. I.e., what happened to Arsenal twice at the weekend. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's a big challenge, because we know what Robertson can do. You know, is he 100% fit? That's not, obviously, we're just going to assume he is, because he was on the bench last week. So it's a no-brainer for me in that respect. But I'm not sure if he's 95, 90%, whether Klopp would risk putting Tsimikas in against a team of this quality with a different system. I think that's the key thing. He's not used to playing against a Chelsea with 3 at the back who've got Reece James coming in behind you all the time, or round the side of you all the time.
Yeah, no, that's a good
point, Dan.
Yeah, and that's it. For me, it feels like the safe pair of hands, because 2 games is not enough to prove that Kostas Tsimikas is good enough. Now he needs games to prove he's good enough, and Klopp might just do the meritocracy thing here and go, well, you've been playing, you're fine, I've got no problem with you, I'll just keep you, and Robbo will get his chance again, and that gives Robbo another impetus to improve and get better. I don't know whether it makes Andy Robertson a better footballer to just be told he's straight back in. I don't know whether it helps.
Yeah, my thinking on this is, look, if Robertson's 100%, he goes in. If he's not 100%, is he going to be Andy Robbo? Well, he's not. He can't be. And what we need from him, and what we've seen so far this season, is the best thing about Liverpool again this season is we're getting attacks from both wings. And Kostas has shown us that he can do that for 90 minutes now. Mm-hmm. He showed us he could do it for 70 in the first game. He showed us in the second game he can do it for 90 minutes. Yeah. We're going to need someone to get up and down if we want to break Chelsea down, because they're a hard side to score against. So I can understand both things, but also let's not forget, Robbo's not match fit either.
Yeah.
So even if he's physically 100% right, that doesn't mean that he's going to be able to do it for 90. It means maybe you're going to get 70 minutes. But who knows? Yeah. It might just be easier for Klopp to go, well, let's just play Tsimikas. Let's see where we are with him. Because you're going to get more of an answer in this game than you did in the previous 2 games. And I don't know where I am with him.
It's big bollocks from the manager one way or the other, isn't it? You know, and he likes to put faith in people and he trusts them, because you get more out of people who feel that they're trusted. And that's how the squad's been built for Liverpool. But you know, there is that international break coming up. Robbo will get minutes. I'm sure Scotland are playing 7 times in that, so he'll get his games regardless.
I was just going to add in there, it's understanding as well. This is going to be key for this game. Like we said, the systems before and the opposition we're up against. Robertson understands Van Dijk and Matip and Trent and Fabinho a lot, and who's going to play in the left, Thiago or Keita, a lot more than Tsimikas does. And in this game, it's whether Tsimikas in the last year and in pre-season has learned that understanding with the midfield triangle and his defensive triangle with Van Dijk. So if he's got that,
he won't have learned with Van Dijk, will he?
Well, exactly. Yeah. Well, you know what I mean. So this is where again it might come down to like muscle memory and playing with each other and that sort of, you know,
in sync, unconscious.
That's another decision Klopp's going to have to make, where Robbo might pip it if he isn't just quite 100, where it's like, you know where Van Dijk's going to be, etc., and where Keita's going to be.
And actually, thinking about that and expanding on Sam's point there, Mane does really well against Chelsea. He scored 7 in 17. It's like the 3rd most he scored against the Premier League sides and stuff. So there's a reason, you know, Robbo's with him, Mane does well against him, so there's all that to think about.
There's a good comment here from Jono in the YouTube comments saying Tsimikas has played Champions League, he's not some novice, which is an absolutely fair point. He's a Greek international. He's sound. The difference is that Andy Robertson is a Champions League winning, Premier League winning, playing every game in Champions League final, getting to international captain, who's right now he is better than Kostas Tsimikas. He is, because he's been at Liverpool for that time, whereas the Tsimikas has just got his move to that top level. So it is what it is. I agree. It's an interesting thing, because to that logic, I'd have no problem if you told me Kanate was starting. I'd be interested. I'd be a little like, ooh, okay. Well, because I don't know enough about him to know exactly how that would go down. I think there's a degree to which, in my head, there's your best team, and that experience thing is what matters in big games of football. Because Chelsea, yes, they're the European champions, but their squad is still developing. They're realistically, if they'd lost, they were expected to lose that final, and that would have been very like us losing to Real Madrid in that kind of situation, because of the first go of that newly constructed squad getting there. So we're the sort of past masters. Our squad's in the prime, and this is why I do wonder whether we will just go, because obviously it informs the next sort of conversations. You've got Thiago or Naby, you've got Hendo or Harvey, Bobby or Jota. I think they're all up for debate in this one. When the season started, Chris, and I had this circled in my mental calendar, it was okay, Gomez or Matip, and I had no idea whether Van Dijk, but now that I've seen it, I think the centre-backs picked themselves. Robbo was no doubt in my mind Robbo would play this, but the question was more about the midfield, and I thought this was going to be the game where we see Fabinho, Thiago and Henderson, and I also thought Bobby Firmino would be getting ready for this because, yes, Jota started well in terms of his goal output, but Bobby's still in the best version of the full Liverpool way.
Yeah, well, I don't know whether you let's say you change Costas for Robbo, you bring in Thiago in and you bring in Firmino in. That's 3 changes from the team that's won the last 2 games, and I'm not sure he goes that far, to be honest with you. I think, maybe if you are looking to change one of the midfielders, you might keep your left back exactly where it is if there is a bit of an injury concern over Andy Robertson. I think as far as the forwards concerned, for me, if Jota keeps scoring a goal a game, Firmino doesn't come in.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. I think there's a point in the game where Firmino definitely comes in regardless of scoreline. But right now, I think Jota's a bit of an unknown to this Chelsea side. I think, he allows us to... And Firmino's good in the air as well, but he allows us to play in a slightly different manner. While still tearing around, trying to win the ball back, by the way. I think that's an underrated aspect of his game. I think, we saw that time and time again with Jota. He presses well. So does Bobby Firmino. We know that, we laud him for that, but Jota does it as well. The Thiago thing... I don't know. I like you, would have said that our midfield this season is Henderson, Fabinho and Thiago. But until he plays that midfield, I'm not going to tell you he's going to start that midfield.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely true. You're right on that. And I think the logic follows. I agree with that, because normally when they're sat in the middle of the season, we're going, I don't think he makes big changes. But also, Klopp's talked about this being an extended pre-season into the start of the season, whereas that would be a big gamble to treat a Chelsea game as anything less than it being the biggest game of football of the season. And that's not to disrespect any of the other lads who drop out, because I thought Harvey was excellent last week. Jota, well, he's scoring goals from a number 9 position, which has felt like a rarity for the last 2 seasons, with the greatest respect to everything Bobby does. And as mentioned, Tsimikas and stuff. But these are your tried and tested. These are you're getting as many of your world-class players on the pitch, because Chelsea are not going to go, oh, well, maybe... There's like, Kante didn't play last week. There's no way Kante doesn't play this week if he's available, for example.
Tuchel will also probably be aware that it's going to be a ruckus atmosphere, that he'll be aware that we're bang up for it and we're not the Liverpool he faced last year. I mean, he mentioned it in one of his pre-match, it might have been the pre-Arsenal comments, we won at Liverpool last year, and he was like, big, it was like, mate, that is not winning at Anfield, it's winning on a pitch in Liverpool. If you win on Saturday, fair enough. No, it is though. I mean, come on, let's be real.
It's winning on the only flat pitch in Liverpool.
In Liverpool.
You could have knocked the stands down and it would have been
the same. So they may well beat us on Saturday, if they play well enough, fair enough. But that would be beating Liverpool at Anfield with a fully fit squad pretty much, and R5 kickoff. We're all a bit riled up for it, and they go and do us fair play. But coming back to the Jota and Thiago point, I think the Thiago versus Keita all depends on game plan. If we want to press Jorginho high and hard, he'll play Keita. If he wants to control the game, and the Madrid game away last year might play into this. Jorginho's just about to win, or just the €1 per men's player of the year, because he's not even in the top 50 players, but he won both awards, so fair enough, that's how it works, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, but Jorginho's going to be flying. Is he going to be pinging it round? Are we going to be able to press him? He might be so confident, so he might go, well, actually, I'm going to play Thiago, and we've got the ball, we're going to keep it. Fingers for Jota for me is that Jota is the slaughter. We're not going to get loads of chances against Chelsea. Do we really want Bobby in there maybe wasting 2 or 3 chances, because he has done before? Also, you need to break and attack quickly, because they've got 3 at the back. So you need them when they're running towards their own goal or creating chances. If Bobby's constantly dropping in all the time, it's going to be pick up the ball, turn and play. It's not as fast. I feel with Jota, you almost have a much more direct and quicker attack. And I think that's why Jota plays. The midfield, I'm like you, because I can't pick it. I don't know what Klopp's going to do, but I think Jota starts this game.
Yeah. I think the good thing is you can, no matter who we put on the pitch, you can do a bit of both. We can be a possession side, or we can, because it's like, you're right, maybe Keita's more mobile or more, but he's also been playing more like a double pivot as well so far this season. Thiago, I was noticeable how deep he felt when he came off the bench, but again, there's probably the degree to which he's just getting on the ball and moving it around. He's not going to be doing anything fancy when the game's largely already won against Burnley, but there's pace there regardless, so we can play on the counter if we need to. I think it's always been part of our arsenal. We've developed from that, but we've not lost the ability to do that. It's just, to your point, you're at home. how are Chelsea going to play it? And is Tuchel going to go, this is my chance to go and prove a point? And are they going to come out at us? Or are they going to go, because if he's smart, he won't.
No, he won't.
And he'll go, we're all right, because a point would be amazing. Because let's be honest, even Pep Guardiola started to realise that at Anfield in recent years. Go and try and frustrate Liverpool. That'll be fascinating. And then the good thing is, it doesn't matter, because if you start Jota, you can do both. And if you start Thiago or Keita can do both. So we should be confident either way, really. Scott Hawks has just sent the super chat in. We can go over to the comments. Looking forward to the match. A lot of options and a chance to make a statement for the season. Also making some of the pundits counting us out of even the top 4 this season look suitably idiotic. Yes, absolutely, Scott. I couldn't agree more. And Le Chill with the £5 saying, hi lads, my brother tried telling me Matip is average. Are you kidding me? I've never seen the guy make a mistake. Does everything that suits our play. The Joel Matip stuff we do. I think psychologically
he is average in a team of world class players.
Yeah, but
which makes him world class.
But he's even not. Yeah.
He's in the average mean of quality. Yeah.
He's been he's been our best centre half so far this season. There's times when he's played alongside Virgil van Dijk, injury free, and been as good as, if not better at times than Virgil van Dijk. He's brilliant. If he's on the path to becoming our 4th choice centre half, then that is a frightening collection of centre halves that Liverpool have got, as far as I'm concerned.
If anyone can get up from being stone cold stunned and still have a man of the match performance, bring him on. I don't think Diaz can do that. Yeah. He did. He got stunned by Barnes, didn't he? Whatever it was, literally boom, no foul.
No,
I'm still stunned.
He's amazing. And your brother's a fool.
Yeah, I need to know, is he a Liverpool fan? Because that's weird. If he's a Liverpool fan, that's mega weird. If he thinks that he's average, because you get that. I mean, there are some people who are like that. I've been fending off Curtis Jones is really average. He's not. No. Curtis Jones is fantastic for his age. But yeah, people seem to be a bit like that. We said this the other week, how everyone has an understanding of football. There's like so many slots you can fit players into. In every squad, there's got to be the guy that you think's rubbish, and there's got to be the guy that you think's a bit lazy, and there's got to be the guy that you think is bang average and isn't good enough to play. But Liverpool have got so many good players that unfortunately someone's got to fit in those mental slots for no reason whatsoever. Because people just don't seem to want to see the reality of how good we are. K Redlin, that's an interesting name. 35 Zars. Jota is the slotter, yes, but Bobby brings Sadio and Mo into the game a lot more. I would start Bobby to do a job on and then DJ if we're chasing. That's actually not a bad point, because in terms of using the squad and what have you, and I think this is more prevalent. Some point you made through the week, Chris. When you play twice a week, we'll see loads more rotation. It wouldn't be a massive thing to see 3 or 4 changes between games. But to that point, if it's a big team, big game, and Jota is very good off the bench, and there is a point there where, again, you could put
one of those 2 lads has come off the bench and scored a goal already this season, by the way, Bobby Firmino.
Bobby, yeah.
So, he's putting his case forward as well, isn't he? It's a toss-up. It really is. I actually think that this might be one of those rare games in Anfield where the opposition has more of the ball than us. I think Liverpool are probably going to be all right with that, to be honest with you. I think we've seen when Manchester City have come up against Liverpool in previous years, they're forcing us down the wings and then they're pressing us at the sideline. I think Chelsea are in a good position to do something like that with their 3 at the back and the use of their wing backs and stuff. But also, I was looking at the most passes in the Premier League already this season. Chelsea have got 200 more passes completed than even Manchester City so far. So they're very much going to be doing that. And everyone knows Jorginho's going to keep the ball, but I don't think I realised that just how good at keeping the ball they were. They've had more touches, more passes than anybody else. I don't think they are going to change their game plan. I think they're going to take the ball and see what we can do from it. And I think that suits Liverpool in this scenario.
Absolutely. Listen, let's have a little look at the other fixtures this weekend when I get the right tab up. There it is. You got it, Tom? Beautiful. 12:30 kickoff on Saturday, Man City versus a resurgent Arsenal Football Club.
Resurgent because they scored a few goals.
They scored a ton of goals. Was it West Brom?
West Brom,
in midweek. It would be a fool who thinks that Arsenal are taking anything from Manchester City here, but God damn it,
Call me a fool.
Don't bet on them.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet on it, but I'll definitely keep
I
one
mean,
eye on
what
that
happens when they've lost 3 games at the start of the season?
Who
The
Arsenal?
bottom of the league,
Yeah.
that's what happens.
Yeah.
What happens?
I mean,
genuinely at Arsenal, like.
It's like there's rock bottom, 50 feet of crap. Then
That's what
Arsenal,
football.
yeah.
Can you
To
imagine
paraphrase,
if you-
is that a Rachel line?
Did you see that thing Henry Winter put on Twitter last night about them singing about AFTV?
Yeah, I mean, talk about picky battles, lads.
Well, they've tried the manager, they've tried the ownership. None of it seems to have worked. So getting rid of lads that like footy seems like the next.
Yeah, how's about have a good manager, have a good brand of footy, and then enjoy going watching the footy, and then everything will be fine. Because this is the thing about Arsenal fan TV. It's not a reflection of everything that every Arsenal fan's feeling, or I'm sure they would claim to be. But it's real people giving their opinions on stuff. It's not, you know what I mean. And there is a degree to which I think some people have clocked on to how you get internet famous by being shouty. It's just a FIFA model. Like True Geordie clocked on to doing that. Clocked on that if you shout at a telly playing FIFA, people will get into it. Goldbridge did a little bit of it. Loads of people who start FIFA channels do it because it's FIFA rage and all that. It's a bit old school now. Like, but that's, you're seeing it like that weird fella in his car shouting in his car comes about because people now, it's a trope now, you know. But I mean, wouldn't worry about Arsenal fan TV. I'm certain, like, if they were winning football matches and playing well,
people would love it.
People would be.
But also, I feel a bit sorry for Robbie because I know how much he loves Arsenal. I know how much he believes in what AFTV does. But also, you just have to kind of look at how many videos they put out after every game, and then you go, all right, well, DT hasn't been there, I don't think, this season anyway. I heard a rumour that he was ill, actually, so I hope he's all right.
Yeah, he's had some personal trouble.
And obviously Troops isn't on there and stuff nowadays, but let's say last season it would be Troops, it would be DT, and it would be that Lee Judges or whatever, and they'd be talking. There'd be 20 fellas with different opinions, and then you'd have Ty with a completely
nobody
different
wants
one
to be embarrassed by the
else.
football club, do they?
I understand
Unfortunately,
that.
the embarrassing ones are the things that get most shared. So the idea is you stop Arsenal fan TV and you stop the embarrassing videos, but what you'd also do is you take away the platform for 20 other really nice, level-headed, well-balanced individuals who just want to talk about their football team, and they don't have that anymore. And that's, I mean, that, you know, let's just shut the internet down and go back if we want to do that. But I get it. I understand why you would, because we've gone through that when people think we are a certain way and we've never really been that way, you know. And but I do find it annoying where an entire industry gets tarred with a brush because of what you're talking about is a very minuscule amount of human beings compared to the total amount of human beings who follow football clubs in the Premier League and beyond are being held up as like they're the be all and end all of everything. Anyway, Arsenal to win 3-0. Newcastle Southampton is at 3 o'clock. Brighton Everton. It's the battle of who Toffee TV wanted in charge versus Rafa Benitez. It's the Graham Potter derby.
I think Brighton win that.
Yeah, Brighton are flying. I think they'll get something out that game anyway.
And also what we've seen so far, they're at home, Brighton, right?
Yeah.
We've obviously Liverpool are, so Everton can't be. The home thing's massive at the moment, and it will continue to be massive in this early part of the season.
Yeah, I think it's got draw. I think Rafa will be well happy with that because Brighton are a good team. They play good footy. Yeah. They've got the ability to carve it open. Have they got the goals? I don't know enough this season to know whether they fixed that or not. But
I think if Basuma is still playing and in the squad and not even rumoured to be leaving by the weekend, I think they've got a great chance, Brighton. If he does get sort of part of this domino effect that could happen at any point, I think that could be a problem for them.
West Ham Palace was one of the other 3 o'clocks.
7-0.
West Ham.
Well, you know, this is
top
the thing with West
in the
Ham.
league, are they?
Well, no,
Antonio's going to score 40, isn't he?
But we're having this thing with
Have
West
another
Ham.
little dirty dance with himself.
Yeah, that's true. The West Ham thing is, I'm wary because I'm getting it's 2 games in, so let's not get carried away. But like the Leicester vibes of it all, of like that's a game where Crystal Palace should just go and beat West Ham because West Ham are normally a mess and Palace have just got something, can pull something out the bag. But Palace are a massive mess as well. So yeah, West Ham will probably just batter them.
Even Moyes, imagine where United would be if Moyes was still in charge. They'd have just won the 3rd league title on the bounce.
Should have given money, shouldn't he? Yeah. Should have given money.
Norwich, Leicester. I mean, again, you'd bank a poor old Norwich. What a hell!
Norwich should get something out there.
I wouldn't, but again,
Home
to your
game,
point, having come through us and been battered by City, it wouldn't
better
Are
games.
Leicester scoring?
I've got to let me find
Did
the
they win the
league
first
table.
game 1-0 and the second game?
I think they're having a
Leicester,
few problems.
where's
with
the goals for?
getting the ball in the back of the net.
The answer to your question is Leicester have scored 2 goals in 2 games so far and conceded 4. So, yes, they are scoring.
Not enough.
Just
to
not
win
enough
games.
goals to win games, yeah. Okay, sounds that was that. Let me get the next couple of fixtures up while I can. Aston Villa hosts Brentford, not asked. Us are then on the 5:30. Burnley Leeds, that'll be one hell of a ding dong battle, as they say.
There'll be goals in that, you know.
Tottenham Watford, that'll be a good indicator of where Spurs are at, I think. And then Wolves Man United. Again,
what time?
I don't really know where. Wolves is Sunday.
Super Sunday, yeah.
Super Sunday, 4:30.
Oh, okay. Is it going to be dark enough for the light
show?
show?
Fireworks, the DJ and fireworks, mate. It's great, isn't it?
The Man United, I think, because
It's so weird. Have you been to Wolves away? It's just bizarre.
United should just get back up and win that one, you'd imagine, but I have no idea where Wolves are at.
Yeah, well, and also, I mean, yeah, what midfield is he going to play? Because he's going to play Matic again, because it didn't seem to work
They
out
haven't got a
last time.
midfield, have they? It's just like a 4-6 formation from
Yeah,
Man U at the
it's
minute.
just bizarre, to be honest with you.
I think with that game, it's another one, like you said before, with like the Norwich, the Leicester one, and a few others we mentioned, is that it's the home thing. Like, they played Spurs at like 1 o'clock on a Sunday. You know, it's hard enough getting Anfield up, like we said, at 12:30. Never mind, Wolves are the on you. So this is the game for them. 4:30 kickoff. A big team comes to town. They've only got, is it 1 point on the board or no points on the board? I can't remember. This is the chance for Wolves. So I wouldn't be betting on that game. Man, you should win, but it's one of them games. Are they going to bring Varane in against Traore? Good luck, mate. It's a baptism of fire. Jimenez is back. You just don't know what you're going to get from Wolves, do you?
No.
Yeah,
come on, Wolves.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Okay, cool. Let's talk back to the Redmen then. What do we think the score is going to be?
2-0 Liverpool. We've won, I believe, our last 4 games by scoring 2 or more goals and conceding none. It's supposed to be, there's only 2 or 3 sides that have ever done it. 5 games while scoring 2 or more and not conceding in the Premier League. I think it's 2 sides. Chelsea, I believe, are one of them. So I think Liverpool are going to do it. We've won 7 on the bounce anyway in the Premier League, so let's make it 8 and let's make it another clean sheet, a couple of goals, and a very sorry Chelsea leaving town.
Lovely. So
it's hard to argue against that. But I've been thinking 2-1 since the last game, to be honest. 2-1. I think we win the game though.
Yeah, I'm 2-1. I've got 2-1 in my head. I think I'd love this to be one of those games where Liverpool do that thing that we do to top clubs sometimes and just absolutely blitz them off the park. But I think it's too early in the season at this point. What you want, if you want to win the title, you want to be grinding wins out without battering anyone really at this stage. So you're not bearing yourself out. So
Tuchel's been tough for Klopp as well, as he's beaten him a couple of times recently. So
let's beat them 5-0 by all means. But really, I don't care how we win. So I'll take a win by an odd goal, a 1-0 or a 2-1. It will be absolutely fine by me. Let us know yours in the comments section alongside or underneath the video. Yeah, been great. Thank you so much, gents. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks. Great transition, Tom. We're still here. Right, yeah, thank you so much for watching, for listening, for subscribing, of course, here on YouTube. If you haven't clicked that subscribe button, do it right now. If you want more great content from us, we've got loads more. There's more stuff coming for free on the YouTube channel, but there's also more in-depth stuff. Red's Transfer Roundup show. There's the Insights Extra show on transfers with Neil Jones.
Today, haven't we? Even we've got the starting 11 and Champions League stuff coming up later.
Champions League live draw 5 p.m. or we're probably there or thereabouts 5 because they have a lot of pomp and nonsense. But we'll be live.
Which is, to be fair, not the first 10 minutes of these shows as well.
Generally speaking, or like Liverpool's highlights of every match.
Why? 2 minutes of your 10 wasted on putting the team up in the wrong formation.
Right, we have to see it later on, but as I say, yeah, if you want more, we've also got a great competition running the last few days on this one to win a limited edition Jordan Henderson 10 Years of Red boxed set. That detail will follow, but yeah, thank you so much. We'll see you all soon. Ta-ra. Hey, what's happening? Competition time. Phenomenal, world-class, completely exclusive prize for you guys this month. It is a Jordan Henderson 10 Years of Red commemorative box. These are not for sale anywhere anywhere. You cannot buy these. It has got the book in there. It has got the DVD of the series in there. There is a t-shirt, there is a mug, there is a poster as well. You literally, it's a money can't buy prize, and you can win it by signing up to the redmentv.com, a Club Legend level over there as well, or by upgrading your existing subscription to Club Legend as well. It's as simple as that. Not only do you get that incredible competition prize, but you get amazing content streamed exclusively for you each and every month. Documentaries, features, interviews, and bonus Redmen TV shows as well. It is a wonderful experience. It's like Netflix for Reds. And yes, in addition to all that, of course, you get to join our Discord group, which is full of wonderful club legends like yourself, and enter into those competitions each and every month. Join up now, enter the competition to win the Hendo 10 Years of Red exclusive commemorative box, and good luck.